Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another session of podcast. I wish and I'm sure you will enjoy listening to the broadcast.
So, what is the brain? What is this power organ? It's something beautiful that God has given us. It's as if the whole intelligence of the universe is seated within that one brain. It's our connection to the entire universe. It is our interface to our minds. It helps us learn. It controls all the organs and tells every organ what to do, when to do, irrespective of whether we are asleep or not, or awake, conscious or unconscious. So, sir, we're just so eager to learn about this, about the whole brain and how it functions and how we can better function it. Let's start with the first episode of telling people about the anatomy of the brain. So, if you could just briefly tell us about the anatomy of the brain, the different parts of the brain and their functionality.
Yeah, brain is the most amazing creation of nature. So, I don't know, I have to realize God. So, in my books, nature and God are the same. So nature created many living species on earth. One is the most abundantly found human beings today. We are about 7.8 billion, covering up the entire globe. So the brain, you are calling it as a power organ. It's much beyond that. But then this amazing machine or a part of the human body, which is being studied by the modern science in a very elaborate manner, and they are still studying. So you must have seen the picture of the brain, and it occupies your entire head, and the brain inside the skull, which is connected to the spinal cord, the stem, which is not touching the skull. There's a cerebrospinal fluid around it.
Correct.
And the cerebrospinal fluid is also around the spinal cord till the end.
In the vertebrae.
And this cerebrospinal fluid is not a stagnant one, it is circulating. So brain by itself is majorly divided into three major categories. One is the one which is connecting the stem, that is the spinal cord, is the medulla oblongata, and then the cerebellum, and then the cerebrum. So the top portion of the cerebrum is called the cerebral cortex. That is the most unique part of the human brain compared to all the other living organisms, both on land and water. You have various number of animals, and then insect kingdom and all that stuff. So this cortex is the largest in any living species. So the medulla oblongata is, connects the spinal cord and the upper region of the brain. They are more important for sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system, autonomous nervous system, control of functioning the heart and the lung continuously from the time of the prenatal, when you are created in the mother's womb, till the last day you live. And the cerebellum is what is for all our movements, coordinated speech and all that stuff.
Right.
So when a person consumes more of alcohol, he starts swaying. The balance of walk, the coherent speech and all that stuff. Yeah, the balance of the whole thing. The muscular movements and the motor neuron system and all that. The cerebrum is divided into two, left hemisphere and right hemisphere. They do all the other higher activities with the help of cortex.
Right.
So cortex is the one which is the larger part of the brain, which is actually, it is 2 feet by 2 feet a sheet view, spread it around. It is folded up and kept.
Right.
It is 2 to 3 mm thickness of 6 layers. And it has everything. It is divided into 4 major lobes. We will not go into that. It's too deep into it. This portion is the one which has all your memory, your thinking, your language, your aptitude, your imagination, your all that. It's called the cognitive factors,
Right.
cognitive work, cognitive action. The verb called cognition is from the word cortex.
Cortex. All right.
Yeah, it does all that. Other than that, in the upper region of the brain, we have the thalamus and the hypothalamus. We have the pituitary placed in the center of the brain, which is the king of the endocrinology organ. Then you have the pineal gland in between the hemispheres. So these are some of the parts of the brain. Thalamus, it is of many nuclei, controlling all the, sensory part of the body and the organs and all that stuff. Hypothalamus is also, it's a region which is very, very important in, maintaining your epicenter of the entire body, and it does a lot of other works. And the other one, which is, technically called as amygdala, that is the part of the brain which runs from down to top, whatever, which is the control for emotions and other things. Right. So it is AMYGDALA, So now the whole brain by itself is not the brain just what you see today. It is a brain the brain what you have and what I have is not your brain or my brain. It is a brain of the humanity, the brain of the human species. It's one and the same.
Okay.
In
Collective
everybody.
intelligence?
I will come to that.
Okay.
Totally, if you see, they are made out of neurons, nerve cells. Right. Nerve cells are called neurons. 86 billion neuron cell approximately make a brain. 86 billion. Okay. And the weight of the brain in a human at 20 years of age, when we are fully grown, it's about 1.4 kilos, that is 1,400 grams in weight.
Right.
In a man. In a woman, it is 1,300 or sometimes 1,250. 100 to 150 grams lesser. That doesn't mean this brain is superior to the other brain. No, both are the same. Both the potency of the brain is the same. Right. It's because the anatomy, it is slightly lesser in weight.
The percentage is the same.
Yeah. As we cross 65, our brain shrinks by 1 to 120 grams.
Per?
After 65. If you are 1,400 grams in a man, after 65 it will be around 1,300 or little lesser than 1,300.
Okay.
This is the anatomy of the brain, which the cerebrospinal fluid is protecting the brain. It is a lubricant to the brain. It is safeguarding the brain from all kinds of external shocks as you bang and this and that and whatnot. Brain is it is a guard. Cerebrospinal fluid is the guard for the brain, and so amazingly made with a layer of cerebrospinal fluid all around protecting the brain, which is connected to all the sensory organs, the optic nerve, the sensory, the smell sensory stuff, and the dental area is connected to the brain, the hearing center is connected to the brain, all that kind of thing. It is, we are trying to still, so much of research is going on in the brain. We have to yet to, in modern science, understand many things about the brain. Many things about the brain. If at all you want to make a machine like a brain, artificially, you may have to make a machine for which will occupy 200 acres. And that machine can work in minimum 8 to 12 degrees Celsius. But this nature-made brain can work in any temperature. There, that machine will, once the heat develops, it will shut down.
True.
Brain will not shut down.
Brain will not shut down.
Not shut down.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So what is the relation of the brain to different organs of the body? I mean, the communication and the relation. at an organ level and at a cellular level as well.
See, the nature has designed this human body in such a way as a live mechanism. If you call brain as a power organ, then it is connected to the spinal cord. Then the periphery nervous system comes out from the spinal cord and it goes to all parts of the body. So it's almost connecting every cell of the body. Because if there is going to be a mosquito sitting on your skin and, putting an injection here to suck your blood, piercing your skin through, it's immediately the message is sent to the brain through the periphery nervous system, to the spinal cord, to the medulla oblongata, to the upper region of the brain. It's all instant.
Right.
Like if you take the visual system, so the eyeball. Eyeball is filled up with a liquid called vitreous, and the back portion is called the retina, which is end of the optic nerve, which is the screen. The optic nerve is connected to the cortex. Right. That is out here. Right. And the end of where the hair starts, it is here at the back. Two centers are there. But then the optic nerve just comes out of the brain and spreads into retina. When the light signals through the cornea and through the lens falls on the retina, these light signals are converted to electrical pulse. That's where a chemical reaction is going on to convert this these light signals to electrical pulse, because light signals cannot travel through the neurons. Light cannot travel, no? Brain is a solid stuff. It cannot travel. So it has to be converted to electrical pulse. That is where you need vitamin A. It uses vitamin A as a substance for this chemical transformation to convert the light signals to electrical pulse. Then the electrical pulse converted will be traveling through the optic nerves to the visual center in the cortex, where you realize what you're seeing.
So it's intercepted as sight.
Yeah.
What it is.
This is continuously going on.
Yeah.
Your hearing is also continuously going on. Your consciousness is continuously going on. Your breathing and smelling is continuously going on. So nothing stops.
Right.
If you take most parts of the action of the body, nothing stops. Blood is continuously running, heart is continuously pumping, lung is continuously breathing, lung is continuously, clearing up the blood. Your gastro is working, your spleen is working, your pancreas is working, your liver is working, your gallbladder is working, your kidneys are working. You tell me which doesn't work other than us. We go and stay lazy. Simple. So it is all interconnected. See, if you are in a house where you have your parents, you have your husband, you have your children, there are 7-8 of them are living. Each person is related to one another. Right? So there is so much of interaction is going on between that 7-8 people who are living in the house. It is something like that. There are innumerable number of organs are there. There are innumerable number of mechanisms are there. There are innumerable number of metabolic activities are there. Chemical reactions are there. Communication is there. One of the communication, what is happening inside the body at the proton level and electron level and all that. It is chemical communication. We are, as human beings, have devised electromagnetic communication. That you have a phone, I speak to you from somewhere to somewhere. You are in Alaska, I am connected to you. If you have a number and I have a number. What you speak gets converted to electromagnetic waves, and then your instrument pick up that, converted to voice modulation and give it to me. It all happens instantly. Same thing as what's happening inside the body. Everybody is talking to everybody. If you take a single cell, the Cambridge University has been, past 70 years most of the universities work on a cellular biology. They take a single epithelial cell and start zooming and zooming and zooming and zooming and going. So far they have found 4,000 components in a single human cell. And they fear there are more. The beauty is these 4,000 components inside the human cell. A human cell is so tiny, right? You need a microscope to see it. Minimum 50x you need. 50,000 times enlargement to see it somewhat. They go larger and larger. They have found 4,000 components. The beauty that they found is these 4,000 components, they speak to each other.
Within the cell itself.
That means how much of communication will be going on between the brain and the other parts of we are all related. Brain knows he is my liver. Liver knows he is my brain. any mental disorders or the imbalances in the liver that we will be talking when you're going to talk about the pathology part of it.
Right.
So every cell is related to the brain and every organ is related to the brain and every function is related to the brain. And everybody is responsible for all the functions. There is no doubt whatsoever there.
Okay. So there are voluntary movements or voluntary actions, voluntary thought, and there's involuntary. For example, I'm not conscious of the signals that the brain passes to, say, the eyes or to the liver or to the heart, which is happening involuntary. So within the brain anatomy, how are these two divided, the voluntary action and the involuntary? Which are the parts that are actually in charge of the voluntary action and involuntary action?
No, as one unit, you have 100 trillion cells in which these 86 billion neurons also consist of the human brain is also a part of this. Okay? It is not only the brain. It is voluntary and involuntary is happening. See, you don't know how your kidney is working. Do you know how your kidney is working? Have you ever seen how your heart is beating?
No.
You must have seen today in the picture. Have you seen your heart?
No.
You can see videos.
Right.
Do you know how your lung is in correct shape or not? Do you know how your spleen is working? We don't know anything consciously.
Consciously.
Everything is controlled with sympathetic, parasympathetic, autonomous, the nervous systems. So voluntary and involuntary keeps going on. There are so many. See, liver has the boot floppy for so many things. The command comes from the brain. The command goes from the liver. If there is a small imbalance in the thyroid, the command comes from the brain to the liver. Liver send the command to the thyroid and make it all right. So almost all the other internal organs, the highest relationship between the human organs is the brain and the liver. They most the maximum communication. Your hunger, everything.
Right.
When all the cells crave for glucose because they want energy, they want fuel, collectively the whole thing comes to the liver. From the liver it goes to the brain. From the brain again it comes back to the liver and the hunger starts.
Right.
So the voluntary and involuntary stuff, which we cannot understand at all, in which area it's going on, in which area it's not going on, whether you're consciously knowing what's happening inside, it is impossible. Consciously, you will not know how your glucose metabolism is happening, how your glucose is getting transported. It goes much beyond that. It's very difficult for you to understand.
Okay.
There are many people who would have made research and written in the books. But is it exactly what is going on there? It will be difficult for you.
Very difficult to know. So, what is the biggest difference between the human brain, apart from the intelligence part and memory part, but what is the biggest difference in the human brain and any other species brain? Could be any other animal, bird, fish, anything.
Human brain is the most unique brain on earth out of all the other living species. If you take in terms of weight, the biggest brain belong to the whales.
Whale.
They weigh up to 8 kilos. Then elephants.
Elephant.
Then Asian elephants weigh about 4.5 to 4.6 kgs. African elephants around 5.6. They are bigger in size. Then you have dolphins which are bigger than us. 1.8 kilos. Ours is 1.4.
But still, sir, as a ratio to the body mass, it's still lower than human.
That ratio is another part when compared to weight. Now, all the other lion, tiger, everything, it's from mouse to animals, other animals, minus the elephant. It is all from 40 grams to 600, 700 grams. Not more than that. A horse has a 600 gram, a cow has a 423 gram. They're all small. But the unique part of these 8 kilos or 5 kilos or 40 to 600 grams and all that stuff, the unique part of the human brain is the cortex, the cerebral cortex. That is not there.
They don't
Cortex
have
is there, too small. Too small. This is the major difference. Yeah.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean, if you understand the fact, if you say, for example, the child cortex is not grown, it is so intelligent at the age of 90 days, you know that? You mean to say if the brain is not grown, if he is having one beautiful red color toy and it is trying to bite it, and you think, okay, let it not, bite that color or dirt or what, you pull it, it gets angry and start crying.
Like, yeah.
They know everything. The animals, if you say they don't have cortex like the humans, the animals know how to read the nature. You can't. Correct?
Yeah.
Right from cats to dogs to elephants, everybody moved to safer area at least minimum 1 hour before the tsunami could come.
Yeah. Yes.
You didn't know, no?
Yeah.
So how do we compare now?
So is
They
it,
have a lesser weight in brain, they have a lesser cortex than us. That doesn't mean their potency of the brain is designed in a different manner. If you are going to compare, Earth is so big, we have so much of gravitational power. Moon is so small, we have a lesser. We cannot compare like that. Both in astrophysics, both in human chemistry.
is it the difference between instinctive learning or instinct and thinking? I think human brain is more designed to think, whereas with animals, as you said,
No,
they go on
instinct. Instinct is a primary part of your inbuilt system, which is available in every living species on Earth.
which we probably have lost.
No, we have. Our instinct, primary needs in psychology are the physiological needs. That is hunger, thirst, sex, maintenance of body temperature, a feeling of safety and security, and maternal. These are instinctive in nature. Instinct is nothing other than it's inbuilt. It is not under your control.
True.
Instinct is, the psychologists would have very clearly given, instinct is an innate biological force which predisposes the organism to do certain act. It comes within itself.
Hardwired.
Yeah. So it is all inbuilt. For example, I will tell you, this is very interesting. All animals which are brought up in the forest, who have not seen water, at their adulthood or their middle age, when they are thrown in water, they swim.
They swim. Yeah, true.
Because it's instinctive in nature. The same thing is there in you also, in us, in humans also. But what happens is, why we cannot do? Till the age of 20, I have never seen water. If you throw me in the water, I can't swim.
True.
Why? Every living species which is born on land is given an instinctive nature to swim. But how do we lose it? Because from the time we start walking, the parents scare us. Oh, there's a tub of water, don't allow the child to go there. Oh, there's a tank of water there. Oh, there's a pond there. The child gets scared. The fear factor makes you lose that instinct which was born with you. So you are forced to learn swimming.
Right.
If that child is not scared, if suppose somebody is born in a forest and nobody has scared him on anything, at the age of 40 he sees the water, you throw him in the water, he'll swim.
It's true.
Yeah, that is the beauty of the instinctive part of it. Thinking part of it, yes, that is an extra for us. Yeah.
Okay. So finally, how does the ancient Tamil science explain the brain or refer to the brain?
The ancient Tamil science, whatever I could manage to go through, is their understanding of the brain is fantastic, amazing, because they don't fragment the body and start studying. Of course, they have studied the anatomy of the brain, but more than that, they have studied the chemistry of the brain. When it comes to the question of pathology. They have fantastic way to handle the brain. They have fantastic medicines to correct the brain. They have fantastic methodologies to keep the mental health good. By addressing the chemistry of the brain, which is highly versatile in nature compared to all the other organs in the body. Every time when there is a reaction in the brain, certain chemistry is born and which vanishes within no time. These guys have even studied the color of the brain, ancients. The Sigmund Freud has given the theory of id-ego, superego, father of psychology, who's an Austrian. Here they have given manam, nenjam, ullam. Beautifully they have given. And they have given the color for it. The mind, the word, they divided into manam, nenjam, ullam. Manam is, id, the lust.
Id.
It is blue. It is always venomous. Nenjam is emotions. Green they have given.
Green.
Ullam is, it's pure. It's related to the soul. They have given white color.
White.
Now they are seeing in the functional part of magnetic resonance imaging, they see the color as it reacts to different situations. And it is coming true to what the ancients have done many thousands of years ago. They had a better understanding of the human brain. That's for sure. Because of the kind of medicines that they handle to, put your psychopathology, treat your psychopathology. They are so brilliant.
So the rays emitted from the brain, or the waves emitted from the brain, actually show these colors based on the state of thinking?
No, waves are, see, every organ in the body works with a rhythm. Your liver works with a rhythm. Your stomach works with a rhythm. Your heart works with a rhythm. Your spleen works with a rhythm. They are all rhythmic function. That rhythm has a sound frequency which we can't hear.
Right.
That is the reflection of your music. How did the music was born, that sarigama padani, is of the rhythm of the organs. Brain has its rhythm. That is what you go and study, that alpha, beta, gamma waves.
Right.
Okay, then they added later the delta and theta waves, which all been measured by the electroencephalogram, magnetoencephalogram and all that stuff. Yeah.
It's beautiful to know that the ancient Tamils actually, without all these highly sophisticated, or maybe they had it.
Whether you know about the rhythm or not, to make sure that it works when the disturbance sets in, a disease or a malfunction or an impairment, then the rhythm gets disturbed.
Right.
How to put back the rhythm back? That is where the ancients were brilliant.
Beautiful, sir.
Thank you very much for spending your quality time. Thank you very much for your attention. I wish you enjoyed this session. See you later.